Welcome back, guys. Something slightly different today. In the last video I said that I was going to have a go at the Zwift baseline workouts. This is the sprint test of that. Like a lot of people, I did the Zwift camp build at the start of December and managed to get my stats to a fairly decent level. I'll put them on the screen now. My 5-second sprint power was 780 watts when I did that workout. So in this test today, I'm going to try and beat that and see what I can do to set myself up for sprinting in 2026. Let's get to it. We're starting off with a nice warm-up, and then we've got some 30-second intervals, peaking at 255 watts, a 3-minute recovery at 130 watts before the first of 3 all-out sprints. Okay, into the first interval set. Just waking the legs up a bit. This next one's 20 watts higher. Recovery now before the first sprint effort. 780 is the target to beat. See if we can get to 800. In this part of the ride, erg mode turns off and you go into free ride, so you get control of your gears back. So I was just getting the feel of that coming up this hill before the actual sprint starts. So it gives you 30 seconds to find the right gear and sort your cadence out in free ride before a free ride sprint. So that's just what's happening now. I'm finding out my gears, finding out my cadence before we start the sprint now. Okay, here we go. Oh. Oh. Wow. Got over 1,000 then. Oh, catch my breath. Yeah, got over 1,000, but it's 5-second power. So I don't know how long that above 1,000 watt did for. So I know that those last 4 or 5 seconds, my legs did start to dip. I think I probably went 1 gear too high. Okay, coming up to the second one. So this time I knew what was coming. I knew how to sort my gears out. I knew how to sort my cadence out. I knew that I'd gone probably 1 gear too high in the last sprint. So I had that in my mind as well. I was just trying to get myself prepared as best as possible for the next sprint. So let's see how that one goes. I messed up the start of that. Need to go slower up through the gears. Tried to apply too much resistance too soon in that last rep. So at this point in the ride, I'd had 1 good sprint, which was the first one, 1 bad sprint, which was the second one. I knew this one wasn't going to get as high as the first one, but I wanted it to be higher than the second one because I've done 2 sprints at this point and also just some general riding. My legs were feeling a bit of fatigue at this point, so just trying to do the best I could with what I had left. Last one. Oh, that hurt. That one was better than the second one. The second one was just poorly timed, poorly geared. None of them came close to the first one. Pretty pleased with that. We'll have a look at what actually happened once I've cooled down and we can get all the stats properly. Okay, so 780 was the target. Let's see what's happened during that ride there. 1026 5-second power. Made up with that. Also, because of the laws of averages, I've also got a new 1 minute power as well at 383, but I don't think that's particularly accurate. In tomorrow's session, I'm gonna aim for a new 1 minute power. I'm gonna try and get to around 400 looking at that. Absolutely buzzing with that. 5 second, it's gone up, what, 246 watts for a 5-second power. So yeah, really pleased with that. We'll see how we get on tomorrow. So it's the next day now. This test is the 1 minute test. Yesterday, during the 5-second power test, we managed to get a new 1 minute power of 338, but I do think that result was skewed by the 5-second power. So it was 355 before we started yesterday's. As I said, I want to try and get this above 400. So let's start the test and see what we can get to. So just like yesterday, this test consists of a warm-up, then some intervals, again, just to get your legs going. It's 30 seconds at 2:15, then a break, 30 seconds at 2:35, then a break, and then lastly 30 seconds at 2:55. Hi guys, it's Jay from the future here. As you can see, the video is frozen, although the camera footage of me is still going on. Unfortunately, this happened for the entire video file, and I have no idea why. If anyone's got any suggestions of why this may have happened, please let me know in the comments, but unfortunately there is now no footage of me completing these 1 minute efforts, so I'm just going to skip straight to the results at the end. Okay, so 383 was the power to beat from yesterday, but I've said all along I don't think that was realistic. And 355 was the power to beat. That was the last probably normal effort, the one that got registered from the Zwift build camp. So let's have a look at what we've accomplished today. 433. Me again. I don't know why it's showing as 432 on Zwift, but when I completed the ride, it did say 433, as you can see here from my Strava data. I did say, didn't I, that I think I could beat 400. So really pleased with that. Things are going in the right direction. So again, what's that? From 83, it's 50 watts. From 55, it's 88 watts. So yeah, big improvement. See that all the riding I've been doing in November and December is paying off. So next test we're going to do will be an FTP test. So let's see what results we can get from that, and hopefully we can keep this steady improvement that we've done this time. So this was supposed to be an FTP test, but I forgot about testing 5-minute power. So this is going to be a 5-minute power test, and then the FTP test will be next time. Let's get into it. So Zwift doesn't have a 5-minute power test, unlike the 5-second and 1-minute power tests that we've done previously. So I actually used ChatGPT to design this test. So we'll see how well AI does. It's based on similar criteria to the other tests that we've done so far. So there is a warm-up, there are then some primers for the legs, and then the test is a free ride at the end. So we'll see how we get on, and if ChatGPT is any good at being a coach. Okay, so I've already improved my 5-second power and my 1-minute power. 264 is the benchmark today. So that was set back in Zwift build. But yeah, if I want to carry on the trend of improvement, I need to get to 264 or more. Ideally, I'd like to get one above 300. 5 minutes above 300 watts does not sound like a nice time. I'm going to have to get my gearing right as well. I think that's messed me up a few times. in the previous tests. So being able to hold that power for that long, I'm going to have to get that right. I'll get my excuses in now if I don't beat this. I did my longest ever Zwift ride yesterday. It's 72 kilometers. The Sacre Bleu course in France, which is pretty flat to be fair, but it was just long. Right, we're approaching the first set of intervals. It's 30 seconds at FTP and then 30 seconds recovery, 4 times. Some leg looseners. Two down, 2 to go. Okay, that's the first set of intervals done. Just looking at the second set, and I might skip them. It's 1.5 minutes at 2:45 and then 2 minutes at 1:20. But then knowing that I've got to do a full gas 5-minute effort after that, I don't know if I've got that in my legs. I might do one, then use all the recovery time before going into the 5-minute effort. Okay, so that was the first one done. Didn't feel too bad, but I also don't want to fatigue my legs. So I am going to skip the next 3 of those. Just use the time in between to spin. Bring heart rate down a bit. Right, I've skipped through all of those last few intervals. I've now got just over or just under 2 minutes before the 5-minute power segment starts. Right, I'm going to have to get comfortably uncomfortable now. I'll see you on the other side. That was not fun. That was not fun at all. I didn't have an average watt counter like I did on the other 2 tests because I've made this workout myself. So I think I beat the 264, but I'm not sure if I got above 300, which is what my target was. But we'll see. We'll finish off the cool down and then get into the numbers. A fairly flat red section though, which is what I was aiming for in the 1-minute power segment. It's always going to drop off a bit towards the end because we're going for 5 minutes, but it's a lot flatter than I thought it might be, so I'm encouraged by that sign. It was definitely the right idea to skip those other intervals though. Pleased I did that. You'd think I'd know better. I've been back on Zwift for 2 months now. I've been on the Zwift Reddit and YouTube much longer than that. Still haven't got a fan. And during that test I had the window open and I mean you can see how sweaty it is. I've got the window open now, so finally getting a bit of a breeze, but 264 was the number that we were looking to beat. I think I've done it. This was the one out of 5 second, 1 minute, 5 minute and 20 minute or FTP. This is the one that I was unsure about beating. So I think I've done it. I really do hope I have. But let's get into it and have a look now. 280. So it has increased. I'm pleased with that. It's not quite the 300 that I was hoping for, but I'll take any increase that I can get. As I keep saying, it shows the improvement that consistent riding makes. I've been riding consistently since the end of October, and so in just over 2 months, my 5 second, 1 minute, and now 5 minute power have all increased. I know the next one along in that sort of chain there on the screen is 20 minute. I'm not going to do a 20-minute test. I'm going to do an FTP test, and the FTP will be a ramp test. But for now, 5 minute improved, mission accomplished. Look at that. Gloves are just rusty with sweat, so they hold their shape. Gross. Right, it's that time now, FTP test time. So throughout this video, we've improved 5 second, 1 minute, and 5 minute power. This FTP test will be the final test in the video. My very first video on YouTube was an FTP test back in October. I got an FTP of 188 at that time, and then throughout racing and just general riding, it's risen to 213. I'm hoping to beat that today. I don't have a target for today. I just want to beat 213. I'm going to do a ramp test. I know that there's a lot of people that say the ramp tests aren't accurate, and actually the grade is probably a better test of FTP. But I know that I'm quite limited by my own mental ability. So if I do the grade, then I'll probably aim to average around 220, and I might beat my FTP and get 220, but I might be capable of more. So by doing a ramp test and a test to exhaustion, then I think it will give me a better idea, and I can always back it up with an attempt up the grade once I've got my FTP from the ramp test. So we'll see how that goes. That's it from me. Let's get into the test. Who is making it to 640, really? That's insane. Okay, so we all know how this works. 5 minute warm up followed by 1 minute intervals at increasing power segments, getting 20 watts higher each time. Wherever you stop, wherever you can't continue, Zwift then uses its algorithm to estimate your FTP from your last minute. It's not the segment that you get up to, it's the last minute of whatever riding you were doing. So we'll get the warm up done and then we'll get into it. I remember when I did this back in October and got 188, I was a little bit disappointed with that result. Anything over 213 today and I'll be pleased with. Even if it's 214, any improvement on that will tell me that what I'm doing is taking me in the right direction. Okay, so that's the warm up done. The ramp begins now. So we're above FTP now. Working on trying to keep my heart rate as steady as possible. You can probably tell by my reaction that got a number that I was pleased with. But as always, we'll finish the cool down and then get into the numbers. Okay, so I'm done now. Just finished the cool down. So let's have a look at what the new FTP is. Okay, so there it is. 229 watts. Really pleased with that. In my last video, when I set up my 2026 goals, I said I wanted to get between 240 and 250 for the year. So I'm already really, really close to that target. which is really pleasing. And it just goes to show me that what I've been doing on the bike since October is productive, and it is helping me get fitter and faster, which is what I just wanted to do. So I'll put up on the screen now a breakdown of all the improvements that we've made, but we've got a new 5-second power that's gone from about, I think it was 780 to 1019. Our 1 minute power has gone to 432, 5 minute power 280, and now a new FTP of 229. That also puts me in touching distance of going up the Alp in less than 60 minutes. So things are getting exciting now. So stay tuned, guys. We've got Tour de Zwift starting tomorrow. I'm going to go for the ultimate, I don't even know what you call it, ultimate achievement on that, and complete all 18 stages. So 3 stages a week. So I'll put that together in some form of video as well to keep you up to date with how I'm getting on that. But thanks for sticking with me through this one to see my improvements. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.